I'm Mark.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about FSD and the updates that have been happening recently. Roll that title. Hello, everybody. And today going to talk a little bit about FSD because we've got two experts on the panel that have used FSD many times. But what we want to talk about today mainly is about the recent enhancement of FSD. It's recently dropped its beta name and now is FSD supervised. So Patrick and Casey have been supervising, and we want to find out a little bit about their experience and is the hype real? So let's start with Casey and talk a little bit about his experience.
Yeah, but before we do that, I want to start with the name. Do you think this will finally resolve all the people who are like, oh my goodness, I thought it was level 5, and I saw Elon take his hands off the steering wheel for 3 seconds while talking to a reporter?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, those people are never going to be happy.
The thing.
Name is supervised. How could you not know at this point?
FSD, fully supervised driving.
So, my opportunity to drive this version 12 was on a Tesla-owned vehicle while my vehicle was in for a service appointment, and I did about 30 to 40 plus miles on it, and it was a measurable, noticeable improvement over what I've got on my personal vehicle, 11.4.9, for the last, 6 months now? And 9 months? A long time. And I did not have any of those intervention-free drives that people keep bragging about, but it was an experience for sure. The vehicle, I don't know if it was tailgating people or if the people of Savannah, Georgia just really enjoyed the Florida move of signal and turn super slowly into a business at the last minute. But instead of doing it over like a mile like you have in Florida, they did it over 300 feet. And so I don't know if the car was just super surprised or they like slammed on the brakes or if the car was actually tailgating combined with that. So those were about 5 of my interventions. And 2 of the other ones I didn't expect because my car hasn't had a problem with this since I had an AP1 car that wasn't designed to take a turn lane. On the turn lanes that were double left, it didn't matter if I was on the inside or middle lane, turning left each time if there was anybody next to me, I felt I should take over because it felt like the car was drifting into the other lane. And it might not have, but if I'm going to have to pay for a car because I let FSD just do its thing, it better be my car, not one I'm never going to see again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point, that's the right way to do it. You have to supervise it. If it's doing something that you think is weird, better safe than sorry, so just take over. And like you said, maybe it would have navigated that fine, but if it's not doing it in such a way that you are confident, then it's not doing it right. So they need that intervention feedback so that they know, hey, when I'm making a left turn in a double left lane, that I need to make sure I understand where the lines are and stay in the middle of them. There's a double left near me that it takes great. And in fact, it's kind of tricky because you have to make an immediate right after that. So you have to do it from the right. Yeah. Of the 2 that go to the left, you have to be in the right one. And when with the older version, it would want to get into the left turn lane and then try to change lanes quickly. And that is just a pain. So I would always take over to make sure it got into the right left lane. And now this version just does that. I don't know how their lane selection has upgraded or improved, but it gets it right now, which is nice.
This to get to this house, there's a similar situation. Previous versions would do that, and then the current old version now prefers to get in the correct lane, but sometimes that's not the right move because there's nobody in the wrong lane, and even under old FSD, it still had enough giddy up to come to the front of the line and move over before the fossils could catch up. So that way you're not waiting for 2 light cycles for no reason. I found that I don't know if I'm getting new like microcode or whatever, but some of the behaviors it has match what this other one does, but more slow and robotic than the new one.
It's interesting that Patrick, and your point, Casey, is that you're unsure about what the vehicle's doing because it's getting close. I don't know how many videos I've watched with version 12 where the person behind the wheel is going, "Whoa, that was a lot closer than I was expecting." And I'm going, "Why aren't you grabbing the wheel?"
Right.
Yes, that
Like
yes.
you're about to side swipe a car, and your only comment is that was real close. Like,
Mine was real close.
yeah,
It was a-
like,
a
like
one
as
motion.
Patrick mentioned, Tesla needs to know that it is too close for comfort,
Right.
and that we should be grabbing the wheel to make them know that detachment had to happen, because I felt the front end of my car was going to sideswipe the parked car. And
Mhm.
that's
That was
something that some of these people just don't seem to realize, is
Right.
they're just letting it go and going, "Oh, that was close," and "Oh, I think we just touched the curb there." And it's like, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
you're not helping the situation.
That was something that I did like, and I forgot was even in there because us legacy folks don't have this interface. When you disengage FSD, even the old one that I'm on, they ask you why. But this new
Yes.
one was constantly saying, "Why did you do that?" I'm like, "Hey, it didn't handle the left turn properly," or there was somebody like I pointed out there was this aggressive driver, and he was trying to. He wasn't trying to. Well, he was trying to take our spot, but he wasn't going to like shoot us if we asserted ourselves. So I asserted that this is our right of way and I'm going, and the car's like, "Well, why'd you do that?" It didn't handle the aggressive driver correctly,
Yeah.
or why turn us off there? I thought it was going to find a parking spot, but it was really just looping the parking lot repeatedly. So I got out of the loop.
And Casey, with your 40-mile drive, was that in the city? Was that
It
in
was
the
a
country? Was
mixed
that a
bag.
combination?
Yeah. I did city streets, back alleys, interstates, and in rural type roads, and I got a feel for it. I like it. But like I said, it wasn't a miracle. It was just really, really nice. I can't wait for mine to get some of these advances.
Yeah, yeah. Patrick, what have you learned over the past couple weeks or week and a half?
Yeah, so I've had it for just over 2 weeks now, and I talked about how I've driven it in the rain and snow going up to the mountain, and I've done a couple 300-mile road trips in it, and it's great. It's not perfect yet. I talked about how I was taking a windy road near the Clackamas River, and there was one part where it went onto the gravel off the edge of the road, and I took over and gave them that feedback of, hey, that was out of the lane and driving on gravel. That's not good. So yeah, Casey, you're right. You got to give them the feedback. And Mark, you're right. You can't just. I've seen so many posts recently on Reddit and other places where people saying, "Oh, it curbed my wheels and rashed the rims." No, you did by not stopping it from doing that. You're the driver. You're behind the wheel. You're responsible for what it does. And if the software needs feedback, then take over and give it that feedback. And I do like the fact that they have that button now, so you can leave a report when you disengage. I've had more zero intervention drives than with any other version. And like I said, I've been doing this since version 9. So I had all the 9, 10, 11, and now I've had actually 2 versions of 12, 12.3 and 12.31. And so yeah, it keeps improving, and this is the first version where I think, wow, they could really get there soon. And so it's really cool to see this. And obviously, I'm on the West Coast here, and it sounds like there are other places, Boston and stuff, where it's not doing as well. And there's more California training data than any place else, so maybe I'm benefiting from some of that. But it's going to get there. And we talked about when do you think it'll happen where you can actually like go take a nap in the back seat. And I'm still my number has been 2027 for a long time, and I'm still hoping that it's then or sooner. But it would be nice eventually. But by the time I'm 70 and I can't drive, the car has to be able to do it for me. So
You could get it by then, sure.
I got to say, Patrick, though, especially with the longevity that both you and Casey have gone through with these different versions, it's going to be a tough thing to completely give it over to the car, is it not? Because you've seen on many occasions that the vehicle zigs when you thought it maybe should zag, and that that not all situations always follow the same solution for the vehicle. It decides to do something different every once in a while, almost like it's taunting you. Are you still awake?
Right.
Because I've done this 99 times out of 100 the correct way, and today's the day where we're going left when you think I'm going right.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Hey, you pay attention because we're doing something different.
If it only crashes 1% of the time, that's still a lot of crashes.
That's a lot of crashes. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's interesting, because we are seeing these videos, and with some of these people, it just seems to be that the game is just to see how far it'll go. Like, just how long can I completely go through a drive without a disengagement? But really, if you're stating, "Whoa, that was close," or "Oh my goodness, I thought I was going to clip that," then I think your disengagement game is already over. Like, you should be training the vehicle. That's what you're supposed to be doing, because
like when I wanted to jump off the bridge, I said, "Hey, oh,
yeah, exactly.
And
yeah, I'm going to put in 3 voice notes for this one, because you people don't seem to understand that we're 40 feet off the ground here."
Well, back then I had the little camera button I could push, but that brings up a question now. Like, for us legacy folks, do they not care what we have to say about it? I mean, we're the ones most likely to have gone through the safest driving course, as well as unless they're trying to just go by inference. All right, so for those 3%, let's see if we can't read their minds why they took over. I don't think that's a fair A/B test. I think it should be somebody who just got the software last week. Let's figure out why they turned it off. But
well,
kind of mix what they did too.
With every vehicle out there, they have the what's the phrase they use? Search the fleet, where if they're looking for a particular type of situation, as long as you're sharing data, you don't even have to have the latest version of the software, and they can get that to use it for their training.
Right.
And so even when you're doing these reports, I don't know that those are necessarily used directly unless there are enough reports in a situation that gets it on their list where they're looking for that situation, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but I think they're leaving valuable data on the table, unless they just really hate our microphones. We have really crappy microphones.
It could be, Casey, that they're, as Patrick mentioned, they're just not looking for those particular situations. They're working on other problems that are at the top of their list that happen with more frequency than maybe your report had happened to previously.
They have so many cars, they have a glut of data. So they have to, the hardest part about training a neural network is trimming the data down to the right data set.
That's true.
Yeah. Can you imagine how many people that are really not all that adept at driving and are reporting things that really are not reportable? Like,
I think that's why they took away our camera button, because they had a whole bunch of reports. So I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly. Because you're going to get people that are, providing you with false positives all the time.
Yes. Garbage in, garbage out. You don't want it to learn from the worst drivers how to drive.
Yeah. That would be a colossal error. Yes.
That was something else that stood out in my mind about comparing the two drives, because I drove in there with 1149, and we were talking the whole Savannah Metro, and I didn't do the exact same paths, but we're talking the same kinds of streets and the same getting back to the Tesla store. And I just felt that 1149 had less surprises and was less takeovers than the version of 12 that they let me drive. But the 12 felt better. It felt more natural. Like the way that mine has to stop to look around is just like it gets really close to the edge, and you have oncoming traffic, and you're like, I see where you say you're going to stop, but are you going to stop there? And this other one, I didn't get this feeling that it was going to nose out into traffic with oncoming trucks. So,
and I certainly get people, like, if it goes beyond your comfort zone, you should be stopping it at that point. But if you're comfortable with the environment and the car can make a mistake by going over a stop sign or making a turn when there's no one around anyways, then I could see letting it do it and try to see why it's doing that. If it's repeatable, those type of things need to be reported, absolutely. But this coming Friday or Saturday, I'm going to get behind the wheel of one and see what my first impressions are. And I haven't done it since the beginning.
The whole way.
There was I got behind the wheel of one with FSD when it was Mobileye. That's about it. So this will be interesting for me to find out. And if I see what you guys are seeing, it'll be interesting to find out. But
I think it's gonna be a little different for you because we've had like the capabilities were added in one baby step at a time. Like when Pat and I both got our cars, we didn't have cruise control, we didn't have lane change, we didn't have, like, everything was just added in one step at a time. So we were just very comfortable with the whole package. And then just toss you into it. I'm curious.
I may be a complete nervous wreck. I don't know what's going to happen. So I will definitely document it and report back next time. But
definitely
cool.
With that, wanted to say, for you out there watching, are you on FSD 12? Do you find it something that is better than the previous 11 versions, 10 versions, 9 versions? We'd like to hear your feedback. Please, in the comments, let us know your experience and what you feel 12 is. Is it something that, as we've mentioned here, that you could see them actually solving the FSD puzzle with this? Or is it going to take a little bit longer? So love to hear what you think. With that, let's get a couple quick shout outs. Casey, what do you got going on Sundays?
So on Sundays, catch us at 1:10 p.m. Eastern over at youtube.com/KC and we'll have a similar chat to this live and similar to what we do on Wednesdays as well. And I hope to see you there.
Very good. Patrick, any shout outs from you?
Yeah, I'm curious what you think the date for you can crawl into the back seat and take a nap legally in a Tesla will be. Go ahead and put your guess, your estimate, your prediction in the comments and let us know. And
when the car is capable.
When you can legally do that. So that includes regulator buy-in on that. So that changes.
Your guess was for 2027. Did you have a month, Patrick?
August.
Okay. Very good. So we will see. We will see in the comments, and we will talk about this on another TTL. So thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already, please press that subscribe button, press the like button, help us out. It would really do wonders for us, and we would appreciate it. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next time on the Tesla Life Express.
Stay positive, test negative.